Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. That is Arabic for peace be with you all. I am Imran, and today we have an iPhone 6 with a baseband issue from another shop, and we're going to take a look in a moment what's wrong with it and how we're going to be able to fix it. Alright, so here we have our iPhone 6 for the baseband. It says literally on the back baseband. Let's turn it on. It's already on. Let's go to settings. We have all the details. IMEI, serial number, even the modem firmware. So let's see what's wrong with it. I'm gonna do *#06# and there is no IMEI. And we know that if it don't show the IMEI number using *#06# on the dial pad, the problem is usually related to the baseband. And on the specific phone, iPhone 6 or 6 series, 6 Plus, there are two pads that gets disconnected from the baseband, which are the cause of that specific problem. So we have the bottom firmware in the settings, which tells us that the baseband is actually working. There is no problem with the power IC of the baseband. The only problem that we have here is the two pads. So those two pads, I'm going to tell you which pads they are and how to sort them out. Let's turn off our phone. Let's open it up. Just looking for an empty box so that I can put all the screws in it. Boards out. We already know that the power IC is okay for the baseband. We're gonna go straight ahead and turn on our microscope first to give you a recording of what we're going to do on the board as well. That one shield in the whole motherboard is really hard to remove. They have used a very high melting point solder to put that one on. Okay, that's removed. And as you can see, the shield on the other side has been removed before. We were able to remove this one. I'm gonna hold it down for a little while. I'll manage it later. Well, there we go. We have a look on our baseband. So the pads that usually gets disconnected are right about here. What we're gonna do is we're gonna remove baseband we're gonna put jumper wires for the two pads that were disconnected, reball the baseband and put it back on. Let's get started. And there we have our baseband. And one of the pads came right off with the baseband. I don't care about this one. I care about this one though. Clean up. A couple more came off when we were applying our leaded solder. Nice and shiny. Alright, let's see if any of those were connected to anything. Not very important. So we have our pad there that we are going to fix them to, the V1 and the U1. So V1 is for GPS sync and the U1 is for radio frequency data. Scrape off protective layer. Alright, that's done. Clean up. Apply some flux. Now it's time for tuning the pads. Alright. The pads are tinned. The jumper wire, magnet wire, coated wire, whatever you want to call it. It's done. Nice and shiny joint. Cut it off. Time for the second one. Second one is done. Cut it off. Clean it up. Okay, that's done. Both of them. Time to put the solder mask on. Let's put that over here and get our baseband ready. Hopefully it's not going to be a pain in the neck. Looks like it's gonna be okay. No rusted pads at all. Most of the time I get pads like this one over here, rusted all over the CPU. When I have all those rusted balls, it's really a pain in the neck to get them tinned. We have our stencil out. The solder paste actually has too much flux in it, so I'm gonna use tissues to soak out a little bit of flux. Really helps reballing. Too much flux in the paste causes it to float out and brings the tiny little solder balls with it. That's done. Let's grab the tweezer to hold it down. Slowly start heating it up. So we have one ball right here. Let's see, one's not seated properly. because of the pad on the baseband was not tinned properly, or as I was saying before, was rusty. Alright, this seems to have been done. Come on, get out of here. No? Yeah, we'll be here to do it. There we go. I'm gonna put some flux on. And this is gonna make it nice and shiny. There we go. We have nice, shiny, equal balls. Ah, that's it. Okay, good to go. Let's align our CPU baseband. Yep, there we go, seated properly. I'm gonna wait for a while for it to cool down. Once that's done, we will then go ahead and test it and see if it has solved our problem or not. Battery back in, turn it on, it's turning on. We're going to need a SIM reader and the SIM to test if it is working or not. And we don't have our baseband firmware now either. So what happened? Let's find out. So the baseband PMIC looks fine. Is it the baseband that is gone? Let's see if there is any short on the baseband power. Doesn't seem to have any short. Except on this gap here. Yeah, shorted on both sides. So let's see what that is. This is PP-LDO11 going from baseband power management chip to the baseband to the EEPROM to the packet filter chip and the baseband processor as well. So was it short before, or did it get short after? We don't know. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take the processor back off and see if it resolves our short. and the short is gone. Well, this looks like it's not going to be a repair that is going to be done, because the baseband itself is shorted. So the baseband itself is shorted. It is really hard. Well, it's almost impossible for us to fix it unless we have the programming software for the Qualcomm chip, so we can read data off of that chip and put it onto the new one, and then use the new chip to turn on the phone. Other than that, we're pretty much screwed. Thank you, Apple. Not sure at all. Let's test the processor actually. See if there is short, or if there was a problem with our reballing. So this chip is the processor. So the chip goes that way, flips onto it. So this end is that, and this end is that, and this tiny pad is ground, which means this pad is ground, and the pad next to it has nothing to do with it, and this one over here should be shorted because this is LDO 11 and it is not shorted, which makes me like the question, was it our reball that caused it to short circuit? Seems like it. Nope. No short at all. Which means we f***ed up. So I'm gonna clean up the pads again, and then we're gonna go back to the step where we did the reballing of the baseband. Okay, test again. You sure it's LDO 11? No sir, no shorts. Clean up the baseband CPU. clean our stencil for the reball again. Which is done. Let's get our okay, stencils on. Open up the solder paste box, get the solder paste, apply it, application's done. Clean up excessive solder. Okay. Let's reball. Reball done. Okay, nice and shiny. Let's test that pad again, which is a ground and the LVO 11. No short again. Let's put it on. Tiny bit of flux. Remove the shields. It's hot. Wait for it to cool down. And there we go. We do not have any short anymore. Okay, this is a good sign. Just gonna wait for a little while more for it to cool down. Let's turn it on. I'm not going to do a signal test. I'm just going to make sure that we have the baseband firmware and that we are getting the imei number when we type *#06# in the keypad. Alright, so the phone is now saying no SIM, which is a good sign. Go to the settings, about, and we have our firmware. Can show you guys. So you can see bottom firmware 6.8.0. Let's type *#06#. Well. What do you know? There we go. The imei number. Looks like we have sorted our problem. I was going to edit this video, but I think I shall just put it on as it is. I'll just upload it so that you can see the mistakes and not do them yourself like me. I shouldn't have actually put the shield back on because this one needs to go into the ultrasonic cleaner because it has too much flux on, and I don't like turning phones off with flux on them. So this is it for today's video. I hope you've learned something, and I will see you in the next one.